Reduce cellulite. Begone dry skin. Vanish unwanted facial hair. Diminish stretch marks. Fade age spots. Eliminate feminine odor. Lose weight. Dissolve belly fat. Erase wrinkles. I think someone wants me to disappear. Hey, Soul Sisters. Thanks for joining me. This week, you are in for a real treat because I'm about to dive into a very special 5-week workshop series that I'm doing for the Back to Love Challenge. So if you haven't yet already signed up for the Back to Love Challenge, you can do so by clicking the link that's in the banner above here on Facebook, or if you are watching this on Instagram, you can hit the link in my bio and join there. We've literally just gotten started. The challenge just opened up this Monday, February 26th, and we're just about to get into all of the goodness. We're going to be hanging out for 5 solid weeks together. So if you haven't already gotten in there, you can easily catch up this week. So if you are new to hanging out with me, I'm Sarah Pettis. I am a body positive, intuitive eating coach and the founder of turnupthelove.ca, and I help serial dieters to stop the self-critical body talk, the obsessive calorie counting, the feeling guilty around food, the exercising for punishment, and I really help them and teach them how to feel good about their bodies and trust food again. And I also help to lead women back to a space of genuine love, joy, and abundance and acceptance within themselves. And that's exactly why I'm running this 5-week Back to Love Challenge. So hi to everyone who just popped on. I see we have some people joining me here live. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Dawn from Melbourne, Australia. Good morning. Or no, it's definitely not morning there. It must be... Is it morning or is it late at night? I'm so confused. I lived in Australia for a little while, but I always get the time change mixed up. I know you're 16 hours ahead. So whatever that is. Terrible with math. So thank you all for watching live. If you are joining me live, let me know where you're tuning in from if I don't already know, if you're new to hanging out here with me. So today, like I said, you're in for a real treat because I am doing a special exclusive series for this 5-week Back to Love Challenge. And what we're getting into today is all around the topic of how to stop putting your love on hold. Because I feel like a lot of us tend to say, oh, I will love myself when. And we kind of put loving ourselves in like a far distance future. But I'm here to tell you that you absolutely cannot do that and that you absolutely need to stop putting your love on hold and prioritize it today. Okay? And how we're going to do that is by, first and foremost, by releasing the very long, very, very, very long list of things that you likely feel that you need to be. And here's the thing, that long list of things that you feel like you need to be, as much as you may think it's only the physical, it's not. It actually has a lot to do with the personality traits that we are taught that we need to be by being a woman, growing up in this patriarchy system, and in this society, right? So I'm going to get into that today as well. And also, I want to help you to understand this very secret thing that you must understand to know in order to let go of this quest of perfection. So oftentimes when we're feeling out of love or out of alignment with our hearts, it usually has to do because we are putting so much pressure on ourselves and we are striving to be this picture perfect human being. Okay, so I'm going to give you the secret to letting that crap all go. And then lastly, I also wanted to help you to stop putting your love on hold like I discussed and start loving yourself today. Okay, so if you could just do me a favor before we get into all this really lovey-dovey content, or all the content that's tough but will take you to that place of love. If you currently know anybody, anyone at all, especially women who are struggling with their self-esteem, they've been beating themselves up, they've been comparing themselves with other people on social media, or they're constantly putting themselves last, then I really would love for you to share this episode, because I think it's really going to help them to get regrounded and back into a place of love. So I'd really appreciate that, because I can show up and share this message, but I can't spread it far and wide without your support. So I would really genuinely appreciate that. And then just a couple things I also wanted to touch on. Again, if you're just jumping on, this series is a 5-week series for my Back to Love challenge. If you have not yet signed up for the challenge, you can do so by hitting the banner in the top there on my Facebook page, or the bio in my Instagram profile, because I'm going to be doing the training here live for all the girls who are signed up for the challenge. But then after the training, immediately after, I'm going to be heading right on over into the Back to Love Challenge Facebook group, and I'm going to be doing an exclusive VIP one-on-one coaching with the girls who are in there. I'm also going to be doing a special Q&A, so if they have any questions at all in relation to anything that we talk about today, I'm going to be jumping on in there and getting all their questions asked. And then I'm also going to be releasing the challenge activity that they are to do this week to help bring them back to love. Plus, they have workbooks that they've already received for the challenge, so that they're going to be using to go along with this training today. So if you want all the extra goodies, you want a little bit more from me, you want some personal attention from me, then you definitely got to sign up for the challenge to get all of that, because this is just where the training is going to be going down. Okay? So if you guys do have any questions while we're going through today, feel free to drop them in the comments. And then, like I said, I will be addressing it in the exclusive Q&A session immediately following this training. Sound good? All right, so let's get into it, because I have a lot to cover. So to kick off this conversation, I first kind of want to get a better understanding of where you're at. So why do you guys personally feel that loving yourself has been such a struggle for you in the past? Or maybe it hasn't been a struggle. Maybe you've always been good at loving yourself. But for the most part, a lot of the women that I work with, a lot of the conversations that I'm having with women tends to be that they really struggle to come into a place of self-love. So if you are in that struggle, or if you've ever struggled with self-love in the past, tell me why you think it's been such a struggle. Where do you think it is that you've been getting stuck? If you could fill me in the comments, that would be fantastic. And I mean, I know firsthand that, like, when I first heard the term, oh, you've got to love yourself, I know that felt so freaking silly to talk about. And I was like, what in the heck? Like, what do you mean love myself? And here's the thing. Here's why it feels so silly. It feels silly because we are raised in this culture that really equates loving ourselves as being arrogant, or being arrogant, or that we're so full of ourselves, right? Like, oh, she's so full of herself. Look how much confidence she has, or she loves herself so much. She's so full of it, right? I've heard that a ton. Either I've said that about women in the past, especially when I was in high school, which I'm not so proud of now, but it was just the reality that I was in. Or I've had people say it towards me and been like, oh, she's so full of herself, mainly because I was coming from a place of love and just really enjoying the person that I am. So I know that it can feel really silly when you're first getting started on this journey. Here's the thing, though. Loving ourselves doesn't have anything to do with narcissism, but it has a lot to do with your fulfillment, joy, and happiness. So if you think that has a ton to do with narcissism, you're absolutely wrong, because it has so much more to do with your own joy and happiness, okay? So just checking in here in the comments, I want to see what you guys have shared about why you feel like it's been so incredibly hard for you to love yourself. So Dawn says, the struggle is believing what others thought of me. Yes. Absolutely. It's undoing all those beliefs, I think, right, Dawn? Hearing the things that they've said, and really ripping all that shit up that people have said about you, throwing it away, and then taking yourself and putting it back together piece by piece, stitch by stitch, but putting a whole lot of love into that equation. Am I right? It's you got to really rip away all of those awful things that people might have said, and those beliefs that you might have believed in the past about yourself. And we're going to get into a lot of that today. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, Dawn. Thank you for sharing. So CC shares overwhelm of negative emotions, probably from all the expectations I have on myself. I actually had to take the day off today because of it. Absolutely. Overwhelm can absolutely conquer you. And usually it is the expectations that we put on ourselves because we are living in a very perfectionistic society, right? So we're told that we need to be all of the things, and when we don't measure up, we just beat ourselves up with self-criticism, right? So I completely resonate with that, Cece. I was in that place for so many years in my life. And typically it was because I was kind of raised in a broken home, and I had all these these stories surrounding me being like, oh, she's going to turn out to be really broken. And so I wanted to prove to everyone that I was not broken and that I could be all of the things. But that led me to have body obsession. That led me to have a very disconnected relationship with food. It led me to have disordered eating. It led me to lead to burnout with work. So definitely being your own worst critic and being so hard on yourself can absolutely tear you down. So I completely know where you're at there. And don't worry, we're going to talk about that today as well, of course, because I've experienced it firsthand. So now we have some comments coming in here on Instagram that I just want to check in with. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. Hello. Tell them that's human nature, Michael Jackson. Good quote. Oh, Mikhail, you're back. You were here last week. Welcome. Because life happens and other people can get in the way, says someone else. Oh, we got a yes. Hey, girl. I'm so glad you're here, by the way. Find what makes you happy and stick to it. I got you're right. Don't criticize yourself. Just learn from what happened and get better. Yeah, I love that. But it's not always as easy said than done, right? Tell them it's human nature. Why? Because they do it that way. Okay, so we got some good comments coming in here, some points of view, but I'm going to continue to move forward. But before I do so, I want to ask you guys firsthand, and I want to know what your experience has been. Who here at some point in their life has felt pressured by society to either be, look, or act a certain way? Raise your hand. It's kind of like that scene in Mean Girls where they're all sitting in the gym and they're like, who here has ever felt threatened or bullied by Regina George, and they all have their eyes closed and everyone raises their hand? I feel like this is sort of the same situation. Who here at some point in their life has felt pressured to look, act, or be a certain way by society? I'm sure everybody can raise their hand. At one point in another, we've all felt that way, right? So if you did feel that kind of pressure, I want to know, and I'm curious, what type of pressure did you experience? What did you feel when you were going through that? Or if you're currently going through that, what is it that you're currently feeling? Yeah, I got a lot of yeses. Very pressured. 100%. Yes. Completely. Dawn says yes. Cece says yes. It's tough, right? It's a tough society to live in these days. We got another one on Instagram. Too much to do. Yep, completely. So what kind of experience did you guys feel? What kind of pressures are you feeling? Because we have to first identify and be aware of what these pressures are. Before anything else, we absolutely have to be aware of them and pinpoint them and identify what they are. Because once we identify them, then we know what we're working towards and what we're working towards letting go of, okay? Because in order to accept and love who we are, like I said, we have to forget about this long list of things that we feel like we need to be, right? Because it's not easy loving yourself. It's absolutely not easy, especially as women, because we're constantly being told what to do, how to look, and how to act at all times. It's like we always have this massive microscope on us, right? And we're constantly being bombarded by photoshopped images that really are taking the human out of the human being, right? And we're expected to live up to these images, right? We're supposed to be and look and feel like we're this digital perfection in this like three-dimensional world, right? And it's really screwing with our minds, right? So, for example, we're expected to be really skinny with these huge boobs and these massive butts and these flat stomachs and these really long, beautiful tanned legs and beautiful, long, luscious hair and straight white teeth and toned arms and flawless faces with no acne, right? There's just a long ass list of physical traits that we feel like we need to be, right? And it's incredibly daunting, right? Me just listing that off is just like, oh my God, please stop. Please stop, right? It's extremely daunting, right? But then on top of that long list of personality or of physical body expectations, we also have the expectation to be or to behave in a certain way or have these certain personality expectations as well, right? So somehow ladies and women are supposed to manage being innocent and flirtatious and sexy and silly and funny and smart, but not too smart, and kind and confident, but not cocky, and passive, but submissive and maternal. Like, what? How is it even at all possible to be all of these things at once, right? With so much pressure about how we should look and how we should act, it is no wonder that so many women struggle to love themselves. It is no wonder, because by those standards, no one could possibly ever love themselves, because it is not real. It is not possible. You are not capable of being all of those things. Okay? So in order to accept and love who we are, we must forget about the list of things that we feel that we need to be. Okay? We have to forget about this long list. And like I said, the first step is identifying that list of things. Okay? So we have to take these predetermined expectations that were given to us simply because we were born female, right? I had someone reach out to me in the Back to Love Challenge Facebook group. I think it was yesterday. She's involved in the challenge, and she said to me that she really struggles mostly with the expectations society has put on her to be female, that she has to smile and she has to be nurturing and she has to be lovey and kind all the time, and that's just not who she is. And she actually ended up getting a poor grade on one of her presentations because she didn't smile enough, because that was the expectation of her as a woman, that she should be more smiley. But even though the content was amazing. So you know what I'm saying? Like, we have been given these expectations just because we've been born female, and I think that they are total bullshit. They're total bullshit. And we have to break free from these pressures to be perfect, because we need to start loving our imperfect selves. That is what makes us human. That is what makes us great. That is the gift that we've been given on this earth. So it is absolutely okay not to have straight teeth or be a size 2 or to have perfect hair. None of those things determine your worth. Neither does the fact that you don't need to smile all the time. You don't always need to be bubbly. You don't always need to be maternal. You don't always need to be nurturing. Okay? Are you guys feeling me with where I'm at? Before we go any further, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being yes, sister, 1 being not quite there yet. How ready are you to let go of the things that you feel like you need to be? Hit me up in the comments with a scale of 1 to 10. And by the way, the best way to toss away this long laundry list of things that we feel like we need to be is to realize that these pressures that we are feeling are absolutely ridiculous. We cannot be all the things at once, and they're demeaning. They're demeaning to our truth. They're demeaning to the person that we've always been. And we need to get back in there and find her and go get her and bring her back to life. Okay? And if you want to go deeper on this topic and you want to start addressing the physical and the personality trait expectations, like I said, there's a workbook I provided, but you got to sign up for the challenge to grab it to go along with this training. And you can grab it by hitting the link in my bio on Instagram or hitting the banner at the top of this page, and you can join up for the challenge and get in on this. We got some 10s. Perfect. 10, 10, 10. Amazing. Good, 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 good. Yes. We got some comments. Sorry, I'm just catching up here, guys. What if you already love yourself because of who you are? I feel like I really found my passion and talents, but that gives me more pressure every year because I have more expectations on myself. If you loved yourself, that's a really good question. If you loved yourself, the pressure wouldn't be there. And I will address that in the Q&A that I'm going to be doing in the private Back to Love Challenge Facebook group. So if you want me to address that question, I'll be sure to cover it in the Back to Love Challenge Facebook group, okay? So we'll get back to that, what to do. Okay. So any questions that have come in, we're going to be saving them for the Facebook group right after this session, but I want to keep carrying on with the training here, okay? So you got to get in there to get started, and if you are requesting access to the Facebook group, I'll be sure to approve that before I do the live Q&A. Hi! Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're here too. Perfect, you're on both. Amazing. So yeah, make sure that you get into the Back to Love Challenge Facebook group and join the challenge. Is it Isla? Isla? It's such a pretty name. And I'll address your question on there, okay? Okay, so the next thing, since we are ready to toss out this long-ass list of things that we need to be, the next thing that you guys need to know, the secret, the absolute secret to letting go of the quest of perfection. That's what I'm going to be talking about next, okay? So just sit tight. The secret to letting go of the quest of perfection, because I know it's hard. I've been there, right? So this Back to Love Challenge that I'm hosting, it's all about really challenging your mind and your heart to view yourself in a brighter light, okay? It's connecting the mind and the heart to view yourself in a brighter light. But how can we possibly do that if we're tied and we're stuck holding on to this predetermined list of ideas, right, that are only causing us to feel self-loathing and hate? We can't, right? We have to get rid of that list first, right? To love ourselves, and here's the secret. Here's the secret that I really want you guys to know, and if you got to write this down, okay? To love yourself, you first have to see yourself as a human being. As a human being. And guess what? To be human is to be messy. It's to be imperfect. It's to be downright dizzy sometimes, right? But even though that you're imperfect and you're messy and your life is a whirlwind some days and sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down, you are still absolutely and completely worthy of love. Okay? You are absolutely and completely still worthy of love. And here's why. Here's why. Okay? Because no woman is capable of being all of the things at once. What I may be good at, you might not be good at. And what you might be good at, I might not be good at. But that's what gives us character. That's what gives us substance. Okay? We are not these cookie cutter human beings. We are not just stamped out as much as the world has been trying to make us that way by pushing us into school and by pushing us into, this nuclear family and by pushing us into doing all of the things. We are not these cookie cutter people. We are not meant to all be the same. We are not meant to all live and lead the same lives, okay? And even though the media portrays that, and even though, our favorite actresses are photoshopped and they're digitally enhanced and they're airbrushed and, they're professionally styled and prepped and photos are taken of them, and we believe like, oh, that's who I need to be, or we're looking up to these role models on TV shows of how we have to be as a mother, or we're looking at things on Pinterest of how the perfect lunches we have to make. Chasing perfection is only going to set yourself up for failure. Okay? This is exactly why I'm asking you to let go of that quest of perfectionism. Okay? That's exactly why we have to first let that go. Okay? Okay? And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We do not have to be anyone else's idea of beautiful. We do not have to be anyone else's idea of beautiful. So just because something has been classified as beauty, regardless of what it is, whether it's, to have these perfect eyebrows or these plump lips or to have long hair, if that's what someone else has classified as beautiful, that does not mean that it is beautiful. It's a perception, okay? So you do not have to be anything other than who you are. You just have to go in there and find who that is and pull her out and embrace her, okay? Because we are all beautifully and uniquely made, and there's no one created just like us. And that in itself calls for celebration. That in itself calls for a massive celebration, okay? And that's what I want you guys to focus on, is how to find that version of you that makes you so incredibly unique that no one can replace you and no one can put a star on you, because you are you, okay? Find your unicorn self. Be your reborn unicorn, okay? I know unicorns are all the hype right now, but for reals, find your unicorn. Find what makes you you, okay? So now I want to ask you this. I want to ask you guys this. By the way, if you're loving this, hit me up with some hearts so I know if this is resonating with you guys. Send me some hearts, send me some love so I know where you guys are at. Let me ask you guys this. Have you ever said that you would start loving yourself when? Did you ever say that you would start loving yourself when you hit a certain point? Have you ever put your love on hold? Have you ever said that you would love yourself when you would hit a certain weight, when you would get at the perfect job, when you found your husband, you had kids? Thanks for the hearts, you guys. I appreciate it. Have you ever said that you would love yourself when? In the far distant future? Yes or no? Hit me up in the comments below and let me know if you've ever experienced that. Because today, the topic that we've been sharing is how to stop putting your love on hold. Because I know that when I was working towards loving myself, I always said that when I lost X amount of weight, that's when I would love myself. When I was the perfect body size, that's when I would love myself. I had to wait. I had to reach a certain goal in order to love myself, which was total bullshit. And if I had known that I could love myself today, it would have made that journey a bajillion times easier, which is why I'm here now talking about it to you guys, right? So we often tell ourselves that we'll be happy with who we are when we lose X pounds, when we have longer hair, when we have clearer skin, when we have nicer clothes, when we get the perfect job, when we have children, right? We put off loving ourselves because we think that who we are right now is not worthy of love. But you guys, that is so seriously flawed. That is so seriously flawed. It's not true, okay? Like so many other women, I wasted years of my life dissecting and criticizing every single freaking flaw that I had, okay? I let my insecurities control my life. I literally would miss out on events because of how insecure that I was, right? Even friendships I had, I kind of let dissolve because I was so obsessed with this idea that I needed to be everything at once or I wasn't good enough. I wasn't attractive enough. I wasn't worthy of love. And it got worse when I started to experience bullying in the 7th grade. And every shed of confidence that I had left disappeared. because suddenly I was equating the teases and the chants from the girls that would tell me that I was ugly and I was fat and I was a slut. I believed them. I thought that these things were true and that I was ugly and I was not worthy of happiness and love. I know Dawn had brought up at the very beginning, it's hard to let go of those things that you've been told that you are, and they're ingrained in you and they ring in you and you just hear them in your head over and over and over again. But they are not true. They are words. They are what people have identified you as, but they do not get to decide who you are, right? They do not get to decide who you are. And thankfully, I'm now in a place that I truly do love myself, and I'm learning to love myself more and more every day. And guys, for the record, this journey is not linear. It's kind of like a big wave of whirlwinds, okay? You're going to go up, you're going to go down. It's not a destination. Self-love is not a destination. It is a damn choice. It's a choice that you have to choose every single day. Every day you have to wake up and say, I am worthy. I'm going to love myself today, okay? But here's the thing, you don't have to hit rock bottom like I did when I was struggling in grade school and in high school and my early adult life to love yourself. You don't have to hit rock bottom, okay? When I reflect back on my experiences, I realized that because I never valued who I was, I never knew that I was worthy of loving. But that's why I'm here, because I'm here to tell you that you are worthy of loving, right? But you have to trust that, right? You have to trust that. Because if you don't trust that, then how are you ever going to get the most out of life if you don't love who you are? How can you achieve your goals if you tell yourself that you're not worthy of them, okay? I want you to live life to the fullest, right? But in order to do that, you have to embrace who you are, and you have to let go of those so-called flaws, because they're not flaws, like I've mentioned in today's training, okay? They are there to represent you, okay? They are there to represent you. There is no perfect person, you guys. Absolutely no perfect person, okay? So when you do start to choose love, and you have to choose it, like I said, you can't put it on hold anymore. You cannot wait until a certain point in your life. When you do choose to start loving yourself right in this very minute, a whole new world of opportunity is going to come barreling in, okay? It's going to come barreling in, and you're going to be like, what is all of this greatness? Like, it's absolutely incredible, okay? But you have to stop your own limitations, and you have to start accepting yourself and your own uniqueness. Those cute freckles, those scars. You know, I got scars on my head from my chicken pox when I was little. I used to hate them. Now I own them. You know, if you have short legs, you've been born with short legs, and you've always wanted tall legs, girl, you own your short legs, because I guarantee there's someone out there that wants to be short and she's tall. I know I was one of those girls, right? You just own what you have, and you celebrate those parts. And something I do want to bring up on that too is, even if you don't love those parts, like even if you just accept them, that's cool too. You don't have to be admiring every part of yourself. You could just accept it, and that's cool too. Okay, acceptance goes way further than hatred. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to gush over every part of your body, but just be like, you know what? Yeah, I got short legs, but I'm cool with it. It's fine. You don't be like, I love my short legs. They're so short and perfect, and you don't got to do that. Okay, acceptance goes a really long way, you guys. Just acceptance, okay? And you also don't have to wait until you get to a certain part of your life to value yourself, okay? You can and should start right now, today. So what do you guys say? Who's with me? Raise of hands. Who is with me? Who is ready to stop putting their love on hold? Shoot me up in the comments with an emoji, a GIF. Let me know where you're at. Who here is ready to stop putting their love on hold and start loving themselves today? Because you are so incredibly worthy of love. And if you are ready, and you want to get the behind the scenes of this training, sign up for the Back to Love Challenge. It just started this week. This is just the get-go, you guys. This is just the surface level stuff. And we're starting today by getting rid of those list of things that we need to be and embracing the things that we are. Okay? So get in on the challenge. I got a workbook. Girls, you got your workbooks. Whoever has signed up for the challenge. Dawn, you have your workbook. Cece, you have your workbook. Isla, did you join the challenge? Are we gonna see you in there? I hope so. And then you can get your workbook as well. Okay, because you guys, loving yourself requires a lot of work. Dawn is ready to do the work. I'm so glad. It takes a lot of work, right? But being someone who has spent these last 5 years working on this stuff, I can attest to you that is absolutely worth it. It is so incredibly worth it. Ever since I started walking around with more self-confidence, people have started to take notice. They're like, Sarah, what is in your goddamn kombucha? Like, for reals, woman, what is in your kombucha? Because who are you? You don't give an F about what anyone thinks of you anymore, when all you used to think about is what people thought of you. I walk around with no makeup on now. I go on Instagram stories and I'm just like, hey, just roll out of bed. Guys, I would never do that without a full face of makeup. I used to be the girl that wore fake eyelashes, hair extensions, full face of makeup at all times. And now I'm just like, yeah, so this is me. And I want the same for you guys too. Okay? Awesome. Yes, you have your workbooks. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. Okay, let me break it down for you guys. Here's how this is going to work. For the next 5 weeks, every single Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, same channel, on my Turn Up the Love page, I'm going to be going live with these trainings, okay? This is week 1, how to stop putting your love on hold, okay? And then immediately after this training, I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to head on over into the private Facebook group, the challenge private Facebook group. Make sure you sign up to get in there. Okay, you got to get access to that first. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to answer any and all questions you have surrounding this topic before I share with you guys what the challenge activity is, so that way you guys can start doing this deep work. Okay, I'm going to get in there to do that, and I'm going to give you guys the action steps that you have to take to return to love, okay? And I want you guys to think of each and every single week like your baby step in the right direction, okay? You have a couple days to work through this. We're not going to be starting the next week until Monday, so you have from now until Sunday night to get caught up on this week, okay? And most of these challenges are going to be short, but they are going to require some reflection, okay? And they're going to require a whole lot of love and you showing up for yourself and you holding space to do that work, okay? And I will say that not every single challenge is fun, but they will be worth it. I absolutely pinky promise you that they absolutely will be worth it, okay? So when you sign up, you're going to get those workbooks, and then I'm going to be breaking down the challenge activity, okay? So Dawn says, Sarah, you are such a beautiful speaker. Thank you for being here for us. Oh my gosh, Dawn, thank you so much for that. You know, you got to know, coming from a place where I really struggled with self-confidence, be able to get on a live video in front of people all across the world and be able to speak freely and feeling safe to do that without feeling judged, that took a lot of guts and courage. And I'm now in a place where I just don't care. I feel like my message is more important. I'm going to stutter over my words. I'm going to maybe not say things in the perfect manner, but it doesn't matter because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about you guys, and it's about the impact that we can make when we do stand up in our truth and we're authentic and we're transparent and we help guide and serve those who need it, right? It's about you guys. So I do this for you. Wholeheartedly, I do. So I really appreciate that, Dawn. Thank you for your kind words always. They really uplift and inspire me to keep going. So thank you. Isla, you're from Germany. Amazing. It's 9:30. Awesome. So we actually have another member of the Back to Love Challenge. Her name is Silva, and she's from Germany as well. So that will be really cool because maybe you guys live within distance of each other. You can connect in there. So I'm really excited to have you. It's a very intimate group. I love intimacy when we're working in a group setting because it really creates that safety and that space to openly share, because we're going to be sharing a lot. So I love the intimacy of it all, and I think you're going to really enjoy yourself in that space. So we welcome you with open arms. I'm excited to have you come in there. I'll make sure to approve your access before I get going on the Q&A. All right, so any questions that you guys have added, I'm going to take them and I'm going to bring them over to the group, and I'm going to be popping in there shortly and to be doing a live Q&A and some coaching. So get your questions ready. I'm going to be heading over there now, okay? So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Please stop putting your love on hold. Prioritize you first. Go get out there, find those things about you, those quirks that make you amazing, and I will see you guys next week for week 2 of the Back to Love Challenge. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.